Well, it's a rather surreal experience, of course. You don't really kind of expect this when you're making a film. You don't have this in your mind. So when you come here, it's it's delightful, really, to have this kind of circus around the work you've done. But it's the work itself that matters to me, not so much this. Well, I didn't know the story very, very well, and so when I read the screenplay, it was a discovery that this was a story of a relationship, of a marriage that has its ups and downs. And that really drew me to it. It's an unusual perspective on Stephen's life and career as seen through the eyes of his wife and the carer, the primary caregiver in their stories. So that was something that I thought was fresh and original to Stephen's public life, and was keen and intrigued by the emotional complexities of their story. I was pretty confident once I'd met with both the actors that together they were going to be great, but also individually they would do the preparation they needed to do to make this film work, and they both did it in a very different kind of way. And once we came to start filming, Eddie had managed to understand the progression of this illness across 5 different stages, which the film required. And during the rehearsal period, everything came together very beautifully between the two actors who are at the forefront of the film. So I was quite confident going in that this was going to work, and so it proved, I think. I read A Brief History of Time, which was his book written for people like me, people like you, distilling his ideas into something that was quite simple and accessible, and it's a great book, and that was very helpful to get your bearings on his thinking, which is sort of much more complicated than I can ever get my head around. And the illness was something that Eddie had to see really close up, and he spent time with people who had motor neuron disease here in London, as did I, and it was an important part of our research to try and be truthful to that disease and to show its impact on people around the person who suffers it, as well as on the person herself or himself. Well, it's a very, very surprising and unusual love story. It's surprisingly uplifting, given Stephen's disability. The fact that he's still around and still with us, he'll be with us tonight, so it makes it very optimistic, even though you might think it's going to be a little bit sad, but it's not, actually. His achievements transcend his disability completely, and he'll be here tonight to enjoy the film with us.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey You Guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey You Guys!